Do you ever feel like that knot in your stomach, wondering if you're like ever going to make it? Or even late at night when you put your head to the pillow, like thinking to yourself, is this all like even possible? Um, if you felt that, well, it's in other words, it's called doubt, right? And you can feel it in different ways. However, you probably felt something similar. Now, doubt has always had, and I believe still has this negative connotation to itself, where most people they start thinking negative when they hear doubt, right? When they hear doubt or doubtful thoughts or doubt, or when they feel this feeling, they start thinking towards something which is quite opposite of positive, right? But I'll tell you guys, it is quite the opposite of negative. Doubt is good. Doubt isn't a sign that you're failing. It's more so a sign that you're stretching beyond what your current comfort zone is capable of, right? And if I were to give you guys a general example on the top of my dome right now, is to think of the first time that you stepped into the gym, right? The first time you were in the gym, you weren't sure if you were doing anything right. You literally, let's say you were doing some shoulder exercises, you were doing it completely wrong, you're working your legs, you didn't know shit, you were looking at other people, you're probably searching up, downloaded an app to see how things works. Like that is how growth feels, right? You were awkward, uncertain, you were uncomfortable. In other words, you were growing, right? And look at yourself today. If you've been consistent in the gym or you still go there, you don't feel that anymore, right? You know exactly what you need to do and how you do it, essentially. And the reason we initially feel this and all these different feelings is because biologically, our brains, they're wired towards safety. Biologically, that's how we've been for however long humans have been on this earth. Whenever you're doing something new, consciously your brain is sorry, my bad, subconsciously your brain is trying to protect you, right? However, if you're aware of this, if you're aware of the fact that, okay, the reason I'm feeling doubt is because I'm growing, I'm changing, and the reason I'm feeling anxious towards it and I don't want to do it is because my brain is trying to protect me from towards it because it's comfortable in this position. Once you understand that, you see the light at the end of the tunnel, which is the fact that if you go through that doubt, and you live through it, well, that's when you change, right? So it's like once you realize that, like you don't see it as this kind of end to anything. You see it more as this launch pad, right? Because you literally understand the fundamental and that it means change. That's what it is, right? Especially when it comes to business, literally, it's only change. Now, I remember back in the day, like literally when I started this business first, right? I remember there were literally, and I swear to God, there were so many days where I literally just stare at my screen. So I do all the tasks, I stare at my screen at the end of the day, or even by the start of the day, and I'll just think like, am I wasting my time? Like I swear, I would just literally think that flat straight out. And after that, even when doing cold calls every single day, like every single day, 300, 400 cold calls the whole week, months on calls, doing iterating this, service delivery, figuring out that, issues there, here, there. Once I put my head on the pillow, the first thing I was thinking is, can I make it? Like, is it even possible? Right? Like, just getting ready for the next day, right? Just going through the same emotions. Now, looking back, like, once right now in my current position, if I'm looking back at that right now, that was literally every single time I had like the major breakouts in my business. Now, obviously, not every single day, but at that point where I was feeling it, it hit a point and then it was just straight up, right? And then you keep doing it and it was straight up. So you really got to go through there and actually break through. Now, there's multiple ways to do this. Now, obviously, there's smaller changes that you can do right now and you can act on it as you're watching this video. Is that literally instead of thinking the negative. So like in your head when you're thinking, oh, what if I fail? That's something you're saying in your head and you're thinking it, right? So instead of thinking that and saying that, just bluntly say out, what if it works, right? What if I don't fail? Right? That's what you got to do. Like that's very simple. That's a simple fix, right? Or instead of saying I'm not ready, I got to get this done. All right. What's the next action? Right. So instead of saying I'm not ready and I'm not going to be able to do this, well, what's the next thing on the list? What can I do right now? So that is like simple, quick, easy fixes that you can literally do right now. As mentioned, like literally as watching this video, you can literally do that right now. And that's like main thing that will pretty much change most things for you guys, right? Now, if you're watching this video, like you definitely don't just want like this quick fix. You definitely want to make sure that you fix this for the good. That way you don't have to, obviously, I won't say you don't have to feel doubt anymore because you but you can't remove doubt. Doubt is always going to be there, but so that you start looking at doubt positively instead of negatively and actually start understanding the power that doubt has, right? And that's the type of switch you want. There's a different way to do it, right? And what you can do is you can start by reframing it as proof, right? So instead of seeing it as something negative, reframe it. Whatever you feel it, reframe it as proof. That's what I would recommend. And the way you do that is the moment you catch doubt, the moment you feel it, catch yourself on it and say, this is exactly where I'm supposed to be. This is the sign that I'm exactly where I should be. Everyone that has once been great or is great still till this day feels doubt and has felt this feeling exactly the same before, right? Once you say something that lines that obviously a little bit was something I took on my notes, but then other than that, it was at the top of my head. You need to understand the fact that say that once you catch yourself on that, it's kind of like if you ever had any type of bad habits and whenever you had an urge, if you put yourself like a requirement to do some push-ups, let's say you really wanted some sugar or something like that, and you do some push-ups, or you really wanted to do some bad stuff that you're not supposed to do, and you told yourself, all right, I'm going to do 50 push-ups whenever I feel like it's kind of the same thing because now you're rewiring your brain to start thinking, okay, whenever I feel this, let me start thinking like this, right? And that's what you want to do here. And I'll leave you guys with this one, right? Like to people who like succeed, right? They don't wait for doubt to disappear, right? Before they go ahead and act and do exactly what they're supposed to do. They literally move with it, right? And you can learn to see it as your like launch signal. Like, okay, when I'm feeling doubt, this is where I actually go in. This is where I do more, essentially. Like you literally start hesitating and you'll start building momentum a lot faster than you thought was possible, right? And keep in mind, one last thing. I just thought about this right now. Doubt is not the wall. Like you have like a wall right here, right? Like I have a wall behind me. Doubt is not the wall. Usually 90% of people will look at doubt and they'll be like, all right, this is where I stop. This is I can't take it anymore. I'm comfortable where I am. This is like enough. I won't do anything more. It's done, right? I'll give up, right? Doubt is instead of looking at it like this, okay, you guys probably seen Harry Potter, right? You know, when they're down by the train station, there's this wall where they kind of run through and then they have this cart and then they push through the wall. That is exactly how I look at doubt now. It's literally this doorway to keep it simple, right? Instead of it being a wall, it is a doorway. Still a wall, but it's a door. You can open it, you can go through it, and you can go into this room where the environment is different, where you yourself is a different person, because that is exactly what doubt is going to enable you to do. It helps you shift from the person you are right now into the other person, right? Exactly why people talk about pain as well. I'll create a new video in the next few days where I talk about pain and the importance of pain as well. But literally, every time you walk through this doorway of doubt, you're stepping closer to the version of yourself that you've been chasing all this time. Right? That's what you got to keep in mind. So please make sure to understand that. If you have to watch this video again, do watch it again. Um, hope this helps a few of you guys out. It really did help me when I started researching this and actually started reading about it, and it really put myself into it and understood it because I was like, I got to do something, right? There's something about this doubt, and I know it can't be negative. And obviously, doing all this research, I thought, you know what? Mm, If it just helps at least one person out there, I've done my job good, right? Now, remember, as always, guys, remember you owe it to yourself to be great. Keep pushing, do your best every single day, and we'll go ahead and talk soon. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.